This is your morning brief for Monday, April 15th. Edison International was up 7.4% on Friday after the governor of California proposed setting up a fund to pay for wildfires. Okay, it's actually a fairly complex issue. It definitely is clearly good for shareholders, but it's not so straightforward as to be good for the population in general. Okay, so why is this so complex? And it's going to be a very difficult thing to figure out going forward here. Clearly, there is some culpability to the utilities for the forest fires we had, but is it 100% their fault? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, yes, it was their equipment that sparked some of the initial fires, but can you blame them for the entire thing? And just because it was their equipment, were they negligent, or was it just something that happened, like an accident? I mean, if they're negligent, clearly they got to be culpable and held accountable. But if their equipment is just, we don't have any better technology. They've been doing all the safety regulations, and California is very susceptible to forest fires. So maybe we should have some sort of spreading of the costs through public funds. I don't know. It does seem a little unfair that they would have an insurance policy, basically, is what this fund would be, backed by public funds. Is that fair? It's going to be a complex issue, but clearly it's good for shareholders, and we're a shareholder show. So without getting too much into the moral dilemma and what's right dilemma, it's clearly good for shareholders. Both PG&E and Edison were up on Friday, Edison being up 7.24%, which we own in our model portfolios. Crescent continues its run-up, was up 5.2% on Friday and 30% month to date. So a lot of people are looking at oil and gas now as a legitimate turnaround. It's been a tough go, especially Canadian ones, and Crescent did put out a pretty good quarter, started to run up a little bit just on the quarter. And now that oil prices seem to be moving as well, Crescent just seems to be on everybody's radar screen right now. So I'm not going to give you short-term trading advice. I do think it's real, though. I do think it's a legitimate investment. Now, up 30%, sounds like a lot, but I mean, it's nowhere near, not even close to former highs or anything like that. But I'd be wary as a trader, even up 30% in less than 15 days here of the month. Yangarra was also up 2.5% on Friday and 24% for the month. Continental Resources was up 4.5%, but that's only 9.6% for the month. That's a U.S. one, though, so U.S. has not gotten as badly beaten up, so the rebound you wouldn't expect it to be quite as robust. American Airlines to keep Boeing 737 Max planes grounded until August, regardless of what happens. If Boeing says it's fixed and they come around and fix all the planes, they're still going to keep them grounded for safety reasons until August and make sure. I think that's a good move by American Airlines. They own about 24 of these planes and are awaiting the delivery of 16 more. Earnings season gets underway with some banks reporting before the bell. Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, and MT&T. So let's do a quick look. I believe they're actually down fractionally. So Citigroup, one quick quote here. Actually, Citigroup's up about 0.4%, so that's nothing. And they did have a small beat. Goldman Sachs, on the other hand, is a little slow on the quote machine here. I don't think that took. Try that again. Well, when I checked it just a second ago, it was down ever so slightly, less than 0.5%. They did have a beat, but profits are still down about 20% compared to the previous year. So we don't cover the banks, but we do follow them. And if we get leadership out of the banks, that's always a good sign. And it's a very good sign for the economy. If banks are doing well, you can feel pretty confident that the rest of the market can do well. They're a pretty good indicator, a leading indicator in that regard. Okay, so that's it for financial news. In other news, Tiger Woods wins the Masters, shooting 13 under, beating Xander, Shauffele, Brooks Koepka, and Dustin Johnson by one shot. It was an entertaining Masters as always. I thought it was fascinating. This is 11 years since Tiger Woods has won a major. It's an interesting comeback, whether you like him or not. He's certainly interesting and certainly got a lot of eyeballs on the golf world this weekend. That's your morning brief for Monday, April 15th. We're going to find some more gems.